In the heart of southern Spain, standing beneath the golden skies of Granada, there is a palace so beautiful, that people once believed it was built by magic. The locals whispered strange stories about hidden chambers, secret tunnels, vanished kings, and walls that could hear human voices. Its name was the Alhambra. But this was not just a palace. It was a mystery carved into stone. And tonight, you are going inside it. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the stories you hear here are the ones history tried to hide. The year was 1238. Spain was not the peaceful tourist destination we know today. The land was divided by brutal wars, powerful kingdoms, and endless battles for control. Muslim rulers and Christian armies fought for cities that changed hands again and again. And on a lonely hill overlooking Granada, a ruler named Muhammad I decided to build something the world had never seen before. Not a fortress. Not a castle. But a dream. Workers spent years carrying stones up steep hills under the burning sun. Architects covered walls with delicate carvings so detailed that people could barely believe human hands created them. Every hallway was designed with hidden meaning. Every fountain whispered secrets. And every room seemed alive. When sunlight touched the palace walls, the entire building glowed deep red. That is why people called it Alhambra, meaning the Red One. But there was something strange about the palace from the beginning. Unlike other royal buildings filled with giant statues and heavy decorations, the Alhambra felt silent. Peaceful. Almost hypnotic. Visitors described feeling lost inside its endless courtyards and narrow passages. Some claimed the palace changed depending on the time of day. Morning made it feel heavenly. Night made it terrifying. And then there was the Court of the Lions. At the center of the palace stood 12 marble lions holding up a fountain older than anyone could explain. Historians still debate where those lions truly came from. Some believe they belonged to an ancient Jewish palace long before the Alhambra existed. Others think they were taken from ruins no longer remembered by history. But according to local legends, the lions protected a hidden treasure buried beneath the palace itself. A treasure cursed with death. As centuries passed, the Alhambra became more powerful and more mysterious. Poets called it paradise on earth. Kings walked its gardens at midnight while musicians played soft melodies beside flowing water. Yet fear lived behind the beauty. Because the rulers inside the palace trusted no one. Spies moved through corridors disguised as servants. Secret meetings happened after dark. Prisoners disappeared without explanation. Some were never seen again. And then came the final days of the kingdom. By the late 1400s, Christian armies surrounded Granada. The last Muslim ruler of the city, Muhammad XII, also known as Boabdil, knew the end was near. Imagine the fear. For over 250 years, the Alhambra had stood as the symbol of an empire. Now everything was collapsing. Legend says Boabdil wandered through the palace one final night before surrendering the city. He touched the walls slowly, listening to the fountains as if the palace itself were saying goodbye. Outside, enemy armies waited. Inside, silence filled the chambers. And on January 2, 1492, the gates opened. The Alhambra belonged to new rulers now. King Ferdinand II of Aragon and Queen Isabella I of Castile entered the palace that would change Spain forever. But even they could not fully understand what they had inherited. Because the Alhambra was filled with coded Arabic poetry, hidden symbols, and architectural secrets nobody could completely translate. The palace seemed to guard its mysteries carefully. And then something disturbing happened. Over the following centuries, parts of the palace began disappearing. Rooms were destroyed. Ancient writings vanished. Treasure hunters searched underground tunnels hoping to uncover hidden gold. Some never returned. One story tells of a soldier who entered a sealed chamber beneath the palace during the 1800s. He believed treasure was hidden inside. Witnesses claimed he emerged pale and shaking, refusing to speak about what he saw. 3 days later, he disappeared. No one knows if the story is true. But in Granada, people still whisper about cursed rooms beneath the Alhambra. Then came Napoleon's armies. In the early 1800s, French troops occupied the palace during war. Soldiers lived inside the ancient halls, damaging priceless artwork and structures. And when they finally retreated, they tried to destroy the Alhambra completely. Explosives were placed around the palace to blow it apart forever. At the last moment, according to historical accounts, a wounded soldier stopped the explosion before the entire palace collapsed into ruins. One small moment saved one of the greatest wonders on earth. But the mysteries never stopped. Modern historians still cannot explain every detail hidden inside the palace. Certain mathematical patterns appear repeatedly in the walls and ceilings. Some designs were so advanced that experts compare them to modern geometry. How did medieval architects create such perfection without modern tools? How did they make rooms stay cool during brutal Spanish summers? And why do certain chambers create strange echoes that amplify whispers? Even today, visitors report eerie experiences inside the palace after sunset. Footsteps in empty corridors. Voices near abandoned rooms. The feeling of being watched. Maybe it is imagination. Or maybe the Alhambra remembers everyone who ever lived inside it. Night falls differently over the Alhambra. As the sun disappears behind the mountains of Granada, shadows stretch across the palace walls like dark fingers crawling through history. Tourists leave. The gates grow quiet. And the ancient palace begins to feel alive again. For centuries, locals believed the Alhambra was hiding something beneath its beautiful courtyards and fountains. Not treasure. Not gold. Something far more disturbing. According to legend, deep below the palace existed a hidden network of underground chambers built during the final years of the Nasrid kingdom. Only rulers knew how to enter them. Only trusted guards were allowed near them. And anyone who discovered the secret without permission, vanished. The story begins with an old Arabic manuscript discovered in Granada during the 1500s. The document spoke of the sleeping rooms beneath the Red Fortress. Historians argued about its meaning for years. Some believed it referred to prison cells. Others thought it described royal escape tunnels. But local storytellers told a different version. They claimed the underground chambers were created to hide forbidden knowledge, ancient maps, lost books, and secrets rulers feared the world would discover. And according to the legend, the chambers were protected. Not by soldiers. But by a curse. One of the oldest stories concerns a palace guard named Yusuf. He served during the final days before Granada surrendered in 1492. Yusuf was loyal, silent, and trusted by the royal family. One night, he was ordered to escort several heavy chests into a hidden tunnel beneath the palace. The tunnels were dark and cold. The deeper they walked, the quieter the world became. No fountains. No wind. Only footsteps. When they reached the underground chamber, Yusuf saw something terrifying. The walls were covered in strange symbols unlike anything in the palace above. In the center of the room stood a stone table surrounded by ancient books wrapped in cloth. Then the ruler gave a command. Seal the chamber forever. Workers closed the entrance using massive stones. According to the story, everyone involved in sealing the room disappeared within months. Except Yusuf. But he was never the same again. People noticed he stopped speaking normally. He wandered the palace at night whispering prayers under his breath. Sometimes he stared at walls as if listening to voices nobody else could hear. And before his death, he reportedly said one sentence again and again. The palace remembers. Centuries later, explorers became obsessed with finding hidden chambers beneath the Alhambra. During the 1800s, treasure hunters secretly entered restricted areas searching for gold left behind by fleeing rulers. Some tunnels were real. Others collapsed long ago. But one explorer wrote about discovering a sealed doorway hidden behind broken stone walls. He claimed cold air flowed from inside even during the hottest summer days. Too afraid to enter alone, he returned with workers the next morning. The doorway was gone. As if it had never existed. Stories like these spread quickly through Granada. Soon people believed the Alhambra itself protected its secrets. And strangely, modern technology has only deepened the mystery. Ground-penetrating surveys beneath parts of the palace revealed unusual empty spaces underground. Historians admit that not every tunnel or chamber beneath the Alhambra has been fully explored. Some areas remain inaccessible even today. What could still be hidden there after hundreds of years? Lost royal archives? Secret escape routes? Or something nobody expects? One mystery continues to disturb historians more than any other. Throughout the palace, Arabic inscriptions appear repeatedly on the walls. Beautiful poetry, prayers, and royal messages decorate nearly every room. But mixed among them are phrases with darker meanings. There is no conqueror but God. Trust no destiny. Fear the passing of time. Why would such haunting warnings cover a royal palace designed to represent paradise? Perhaps the rulers of Granada understood something terrifying. Empires always fall. Power never lasts. And beauty cannot stop time. The Alhambra became a symbol of that truth. Even after Spain changed forever, the palace survived as a ghost of a vanished world. Christians ruled it. Soldiers occupied it. Travelers admired it. Yet somehow the palace still belonged to the past. Writers who visited the Alhambra described feeling emotionally overwhelmed inside its halls. American author Washington Irving stayed there in the 1800s and wrote famous tales inspired by the palace's legends and mysteries. He described silent chambers where moonlight entered like silver water. Rooms that felt haunted by memories. Corridors where history seemed trapped inside the walls. And maybe he was right. Because the Alhambra is not frightening in the normal way. Its horror is quieter. Sadness hides inside its beauty. Every fountain reminds visitors of a kingdom that disappeared. Every carved wall whispers about people who lost everything. And perhaps that is the palace's greatest mystery of all. Why does it still feel alive? Some visitors say they hear distant music late at night. Others claim photographs capture strange shadows near abandoned sections. Security guards have reported footsteps in locked courtyards. Of course, skeptics dismiss these stories. Old buildings make noises. Human imagination fills silence with fear. But even skeptics admit one thing. The Alhambra feels different. Maybe because every stone carries centuries of memory. Or maybe because some secrets were never meant to be uncovered. Today, millions visit the palace every year. They walk through glowing gardens, admire peaceful fountains, and photograph the stunning architecture. Most never realize they are standing above layers of forgotten history. Beneath their feet may rest hidden chambers untouched for centuries. Rooms sealed during war. Secrets buried during panic. Mysteries waiting in darkness. And somewhere beneath the red walls of Spain's most mysterious palace, the past may still be sleeping. If you enjoyed this journey into hidden history, subscribe to the channel for more mysterious stories from around the world. Because the next secret we uncover may be even more unbelievable than this one.